We are go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
Hit the record button.
Gosh, that's swell.
It's a low blog talk radio.
Welcome to another episode of Italo's Black Talk Radio. This is Italo, and we have Erica Young.
Hi.
She's from Ohio, Painesville, Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right?
Yep, that's right. I'm born and raised in Cleveland, and but I'm now in Painesville. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I heard you say Cleveland earlier in the. By the way, whoever's, well, you guys don't know. We were talking. I heard Erica through Joe Atang's live, which is on TikTok, and she shared her story, and that's the reason that I'm having her today, because I thought it was an interesting story, especially now because of the holidays. And let them know what you do, because that way people will understand what I'm getting to.
Sure. So I started the organization in August this year, and it actually came from my own need. I had a job, but it was just a lot to make ends meet, to have food in my house, and I didn't actually have time to cook. Actually, that's really more so what it was. I didn't have money from the job, but I just didn't have time to cook at all because I worked so much. So I wound up getting some information. One of my friends told me about what the Cleveland Food Bank does. In Cleveland, we have a resource that feeds people in the community. All you have to do is just sign up for it, and they give you groceries, fresh produce, frozen meat, things like that, canned goods, stuff like that. Really quality stuff. So stuff that you literally buy in the stores, and it's not old and stale. People think it's old, stale food. It's not. So I started going and getting food for my family, and then it's just me and my son. So I was just like, this is a lot of food. And I asked my friend, I said, what would you think about going out and helping making food for people in the community with all this excess food we have? Because she did the same thing. She went and got food, and she has a lot more kids than I do, but it's still a lot of food. So she was like, I would love to do that. Let's do it. Let's do it this week. So we said on Sundays I said, let's do it on Sunday. Let's see how it goes for the first Sunday, and let's make a meal. So we made this meal. Right now I can't recall what the meal was, but we made a meal for folks. We made about 17 dinners, and we were like, okay, this is good enough. This is fine. Let's go out and see what happens. We didn't have a plan. We don't have an affiliation with a organization or a church or anything per se. But we just said, let's just go out and ask people, are you hungry? I got food. Just kind of like pay it forward kind of thing, strangers, but they're really just, as they say, strangers are just friends you're waiting to meet. I guess that's the kind of the saying. So we just started asking people driving down the street, starting in Painesville, hey, listen, do you want some food? Are you hungry? We have food. That's the only qualifier I have. Are you hungry? I got some food. Do you want some? And they say yes or no. And if they say yes, we give them the food. And we keep going like that. I started partnering with a couple of companies, and I would love to shout them out. Just like whatever bad press people think they have, Starbucks is a huge partner of mine. They give me coffee. They give me travelers to give to. I'm sorry, so that people could have some hot coffee. They give me travelers, a different Starbucks, a couple of different locations over here, and also Bruegger's Bagels. Every weekend they give me bagels, 2 different locations. So I get a lot. That alone is helpful, where I don't have to think about a bread to make for them. But anyway, those 2 things happen. Those 3 things happen: the food from Cleveland Food Bank, Starbucks, and Bruegger's Bagels. And they all 3 work together, and I sit here and for me to be able to feed more people. So that's what I do every Sunday. I have not missed since August. The first week in August I started, and I have not missed a Sunday. And I'm just grateful to be able to do it. People are so grateful and appreciative. And my family members, I didn't tell my family initially what I was doing, because I knew I'd hear a lot of opposition. Just people warning me. A lot of people warning.
Let me stop you right there.
Okay.
Okay. What did you think? What did your family think? Because you said you had you had the fear of what would they say, or what will they think about it. So what was your thought, and then what was the actual reaction?
Okay, so my thought was that people would say, you're not big enough. Who do you think you are to start doing something like this? Partner with somebody else,
Wow.
somebody else who's doing something else. My thought was they would say, this is dangerous. You don't have, I'm not, I don't have a spouse, so I'm just literally a single mom, out here. You don't have the resources, you're struggling to make ends meet yourself. Why are you doing this? That's what I thought. And people have said that on different layers, different kinds of ways. They've said, and they said when I told them what I was doing for the past, I think by that time it was like a month had went by. So 4 weeks of doing this, maybe even longer, because some of the people I didn't tell for a while. Maybe 4 weeks, 6 weeks or something like that. I finally said, look guys, this is what's happening. I said, I found it was getting colder. That's what happened. It got colder and colder. So as it got colder and colder, people started asking, do you have blankets? Do you have socks? And so when I saw that, I did the best I could, but again, my resources were limited. So I would go to Kohl's and get some really good deals or something like that. I told my one cousin who I told, but nobody else knew what I was doing. So I started telling my sister, and she told her life group the church she goes to has a life group where they meet at her church, at her home. And so she told them, hey, my sister's helping folks who are on the streets and who are hungry. Do you guys want to participate by giving donating blankets, hats, scarves, or whatever? So she started with that. My mom, my cousin, a couple of other cousins, I told them what I was doing, and they said, yeah, absolutely, I'm going to help you. So they started donating blankets. I got lots of donations of blankets. My friend at the time, she was helping me. She's not able to help me anymore, but at the time she told her family members, and they donated like 15 blankets, brand new blankets. So some people donate used blankets, some people donate new blankets. So people just started coming in. They were helpful, and because they saw that, look, I was doing this with somebody, and now they know I'm doing it all by myself. I don't have anybody helping me really consistently at all to do this. So now they're like, Erica, please be careful, but they're like, but God is going with you. So we know God is going with you, truly. And I don't mean it like in a foolish way. I really mean it like I really feel protected doing this,
Right.
and I do it at night. I try to do it during the day when the sun is out. Every time I try, it gets darker and darker, earlier and earlier over here in Cleveland. So it's like, I don't get out till 8, 9 o'clock at night. And people are just so grateful to see me. They're like, why are you doing this? Why are you helping us like this? And I'm like, because God told me to. He told me to go and feed people who are hungry. And I have more than enough food to feed people. There's no need to hoard. There's no need for me to stockpile, right? Just help people who are hungry today.
Wow. That's like, wow. I'm sorry. I have to see. This is like the most awesome story, because as you were talking, not that I had the same thoughts. I did have the same thoughts as far as COVID and what is your concerns about it and stuff like that. And also, I guess, helpless, the homeless community, or people who are strict with homelessness, because somebody told me once, it's like, don't call them homeless people.
True.
Because they're just people that are going through a situation that, where they ended up homeless.
It's very true.
Yeah, because they're people after all.
Exactly. It's you and me. I'm literally, and the reason why, what motivated me to do this even before this happened, about 3-4 years ago, what was it? 2016, 2017, 2017 it started, where my family members, I've lived with my mom before, I've lived with my sister before, and those resources were kind of like winding up, yeah, you got to move on. I was in school, I was a single mom, that just people have a limitation, and I understand, I respect it. I'm not mad at anybody. That was grateful for the help they gave. And I wound up, I found myself homeless, without a place to live. I lived in my car. I slept in my car. I would go to rest stops. I wasn't homeless on the streets, but I was homeless at rest stops, and I was going to school, and I had a job. I had, you know, those things, the other parts of it, I just didn't have a place to call my own because I didn't renew my lease. It wasn't even because I lost my place. It was, I didn't renew my lease and they gave it to somebody else. Somebody else wanted the lease, you know, wanted the apartment I lived at, and they said, it's time for you to go. I was extending and extending it. So anyway, I wound up in this place. I lived with my sister for about 3 months, and her home was getting smaller because she was having a baby. So she said, it's time, you got to move on, you know? And it's a interesting way it happened, because that push made me really upset, but it also gave me the fire I needed to get in to experience a different way of living. And I wound up going to a homeless shelter for about 30 days with my son. It was a family homeless shelter. It's called Project for Hope here in actually in Lake County in Painesville. And I wound up going there for about a month. I was one of the few people who had a job, a car, and, you know, things like this. I just didn't have a place to go. So I got wound up not being able to stay there anymore because I had a job and I couldn't always come in at the time they wanted me to. So I kind of broke their rules, and they didn't appreciate that. And I understand it. It's an organization. You got to keep rules in place. I get it. So it was not conducive to what I was doing. My mother wound up taking me back in. But anyway, I just wound up having to go through that process of realizing I stayed in hotels. I've stayed, you know, I've lived in my car, out of my car, literally piles and piles of clothes everywhere. So I've lived in that lifestyle. And I tell some of the people I serve, I'm like, listen, I was homeless myself, but I was in a car. That's the only difference. I said, please know that I'm not coming from a place of high and mighty, or I'm better than you, and let me help somebody way down there. I don't come from that mindset. I come from a place of, I've done something to help today, and that's it. I can help you today, you know. It's in it, and that's, I don't know. I come from that place of service because I realize how that one thing that people have told me, and I love it. I love hearing people just share their gratitude who I serve. And they say, the one guy tells me, a couple guys tell me, they say, listen, it's so wonderful to get a hot meal. It helps you to be able to think. You can think clearly when you have a hot meal. And that's what I serve. I serve hot meals. And I'm like, you know what? He's absolutely right. I know, you know, it's one thing to just get an apple or something like that. That's good. But it's also another thing to get something that's homemade, something that is filling, that fills you up. You can make one good decision a day, which leads to another good decision, another good decision. So it creates a pattern in her life. I have a neighbor who just told me the same thing. She said, when I was homeless in the streets, she said, one person, one time, that time I was on the streets, gave me a hot meal. And she said, that helped me think, you know. So we don't understand, you know, I only help people one time a week because that's what I can do right now. But
you're one person too.
I'm one person, and I'm one person, and I help them one time a week. But it's not even like when people tell me like all I can do is, I said that's a beautiful thing. If this is what you can do, it's not all. It's not like this little tiny thing. If all you can do is all you can do, then it's appreciated. Somebody donated some hats. It was like, it's just a small little bag. That's all I have. I said, listen, that's people that will be grateful for the hat tonight that are freezing cold, you know. So don't the people that are grateful for the socks, they're grateful to have clean socks. They're grateful to have even if it's not as thick as you would like it to be, grateful to have any covering at all, you know, any kind of blanket. I've put blankets on people on the streets, and they're just, you know, they're halfway asleep, and they're like, thank you. You know, they don't know what's going on sometimes, you know. You're just like, I just want you to not be freezing cold, you know. So it's just a wonderful, eye-opening experience when you go with the mindset of, I want to be the face. To me, this is how I see it. I want to be the face of Jesus. I want people to see this and say, wow, God does love me, or wow, there are people who can show love to strangers in this world, you know, and that's God's love in my mind. That's it.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because you were saying earlier, you said, who do you think you are? That's interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting. Anyways, let's talk about I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Go please. I don't want to.
No, you go. You have
I was
something
just
in
saying,
mind.
like, you know, What do you mean? Like when you mean on the show, or you mean
when you were thinking, who do I think I am?
Yes,
Is what they
exactly.
were gonna say.
Exactly. And people did say that, like, well, listen, yeah, I have a degree, but it's not like it's nothing in this area. But it's like you just because you have a degree, like somebody would say that. I feel like that's my self-talk even. But just like, but people did say like, well, who are you doing this through? Why you're not doing this yourself? Yes, I am. I started an organization. You can do this. Anybody can do it. And that's what inspired me. Like, it was like, you think that you have to do something massive or behind somebody else's name. No.
Right.
Do this thing. You could there's places that distribute free food to communities. I signed up several times, so I get several donations, and then I'm able to kind of like create this bigger menu, as opposed to just doing little things. So I just started what I could. Like I said, we started with 17 meals the first time. I remember that we were like 17 meals. That's all, but it's 17 less people who are hungry. That's 17 people who got to have experience love from somebody, genuine love. Like, I have no ulterior motive, none. I don't want, I'm not the kind of person that puts a camera on and says, look, y'all, look what I'm doing. All I do is I say, here's the only thing I put on TikTok is the meals and the clothes and the items that are donated. I don't show myself distributing them to people. I don't like to exploit that people. I feel like it's exploiting. That's Erica. Anybody else who does it, you do what you do. I'm not here to judge that.
I mean, I do have a friend. On TikTok. His name is Shane. Liquid Shane. He does the same thing with. He's an artist, and so he does the avatars, and whatever money he collects, he does go to the servers, and he tips them really good. One day, give him $500 or $100 for each employee at Starbucks and stuff like that.
Beautiful.
He does record it. He does. He got a lot of backlash because they were saying, "Well, what are you recording? Is this for a cloud? Are you trying to get followers? Are you?" He's like, "No, this is the money that you give me. I am showing you who is it going to. It's not because I want cloud, and it's not because I want attention. It's because I want you to know who is this going to." And I'm like, okay, I respect that. But I can respect your opinion too. Like, I don't want to show the people, who are homeless,
and that's just what God
gave
me. Yeah, it's just what God gave me. I'm not saying, listen, I think it's beautiful to be able to see other people doing good. I do. I like it that there's another guy. I don't know his name. I'm so sorry. I can't shout him out. I don't know his name on TikTok. He lives in California. He has that like a gas station, and you know who I'm talking about?
No.
And he has a gas station, and he does a lot of good for homeless in his community. And he wants lots of people donate, like all over the world, donate to these people, and they actually send gifts to him, and he's like overflow with gifts for these the folks in the community who he serves. And that's beautiful. I'm not here to say you're wrong or right because you want to put that out there. Somebody asked me, they donated blankets from a church, and they were like, can you take pictures and show us that you're doing this? And I said, well, listen, I'll give you back your blankets. I don't take pictures of people I give to. I'll give you back your blankets. You guys can keep them in your church and do whatever you're going to do with them. I said, I just don't take pictures of people I serve. I feel like it's exploiting them.
Yeah.
I feel that way. People that feel a different way, please show, do whatever. I just don't know how. I don't know. I haven't found the balance in it yet for me. I just show what I'm cooking, and I show who helps me, the people who help me serve. And then I say, hey, look, we went out today. I have tons of stories. I could write books about it even now, like about how many funny stories we've heard, how many beautiful stories we've heard. People are so grateful, that people share, and they're like, who donates these blankets to you? And I said, my family, my neighbors, both sides of my neighbors on both sides. I live in a, just a kind of a complex kind of thing. Both neighbors on both sides have heard what I do, and they just like, we want to help. So they both given and donated, and I'm grateful for them. So I have my little tiny circle. I just, that's how I do. And I put up what I do on Facebook just to show people you can do it yourself. You can participate. you can support it, you can share it. There's different kinds of ways you can, build up your brand or whatever. And this is just one way I just chose to go, and that's what God gave me. So I just do it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Listen, I would like to talk about some of the stories,
Mm-hmm.
maybe one or two, but I do actually want to talk about your organization right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can do a part two because we have like 10 minutes left and I don't want us
Oh,
to
okay.
get cut off in the middle of your story.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we figured out the Zoom, we
Mm-hmm.
can go ahead and do the part two.
Okay.
But before we do that, can we talk about the organization? How do people donate?
Yeah. So the name of my organization is called Infinite Abundance, and right now it's just Infinite Abundance. On TikTok, it's Infinite Abundance CLE because it's a common name apparently. Like it's a lot of people use Infinite Abundance as their handler. But
Well, I have to correct you. It says user,
yes,
right?
okay, yes, user Infinite Abundance CLE. Yes, because I didn't change it right, so
Yeah,
I
I
can't
was like,
change it until
it
for
says
another 30
user.
days. Yes, it's user Infinite Abundance CLE on TikTok. My business, the organization is Infinite Abundance, and we are located in a suburb of Cleveland, greater Cleveland area. And so that's why I say CLE. I'm from Cleveland. But yeah, so Infinite Abundance is about literally realizing you have no limitations. There is an abundance of everything we need today, right now, today. I have so many meditations I've done where I've just come to that realization you're not lacking anything. So you think that you don't have anything because you're a single mom or single dad or a student or you're a kid or you're an older person or whatever it is, because you come from another country, because you don't, whatever you think your limitation is. Take that lid off and realize we are all this energy of endlessness that we can access at any time. So that was one of the things I was talking to Joe this morning when I was talking to him, just saying like, yeah, you can have infinite abundance of anger. Why would you want that in your life? I focus on what I want more of: love. I want an unlimited love. I want an infinite abundance of peace. I want an infinite abundance of joy. And these are the things that bring that, helping others, being a service, working in the service industry, being a part of the service industry where I can literally share something I love to do with others and they're grateful for it. So yeah,
Right.
that's what we're about.
So whoever's listening to us on TikTok or anywhere you're listening
Mm-hmm.
to, I'm gonna put all the information below, how to reach you and how
Mm-hmm.
to spread the word, because all you're doing is basically word of mouth right now.
Yeah,
So
and I
let's
have a
just
cash
spread
app
that a
too.
little bit more. And so anything you want to let me know, I'll put it
Yeah.
below.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say cash app. I just cash app also. That's all I have. I don't have a lot of ways to other than that. Cash app, using TikTok, and I do Zelle Pay. That's one too, but that would be separate. But Cash app is Infinite Abundance CLE. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
then that's the easiest way nowadays to send money.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
because it's probably the best way to do it is through money. I mean, money, travels faster than food or anything else,
It's
or
true. It's true.
blankets or socks or anything.
It's true.
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
any way you want to help, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
every little bit helps. I like
Yep.
to help,
Yeah,
a little
definitely.
bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Hollywood producer, so I have no job right now.
Oh, well, listen, you do look what your job is right now, though. You do have a job. Think about the
I do have a
limitlessness of it.
mission.
Yeah, you got a mission, and that's what I found. Listen, I was making okay money. I'm not saying it's it's the most money I've ever made at a job that I absolutely despised.
Yeah,
That was where this all
yeah,
came from. I was like, I'm tired of living and doing something I hate doing every day. I hated it. My back was hurting. My feet were hurting. My brain was hurting. I didn't spend time with my
yeah.
son. I was miserable. And this being able to serve people, it's become, I realize now, this is what I love to do. This is what I want more of. This is what
It
I
gives you
want to
more
have.
energy. I can feel that your energy, you have so much energy right now through the phone.
Thank
So I can
you.
feel that. I'm like, it's something that is addicting. It's how do you say, contagious is what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
It's really contagious.
definitely.
So,
Thank you.
but
Thank you so much.
listen, Erica,
Mhm.
can you give me 10 minutes and then we'll start part two?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
So give us a second, guys. You didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming. Erica didn't see this coming. Nobody
I
saw it
did.
coming, right?
That's right.
All right.
It's good though.
Let's finish part one. Hold on a second.
Mhm.
Gosh, that's swell.
What inspired you to do what you're doing? Like, I understand your situation that you told me about, being homeless and what that was like for you.
Mhm.
But was there something else? Because you're talking about a lot of things that resonate with me as well, as far as, and actually there was something that someone told me that who was also going through homelessness, and he
Mhm.
said, you know what, Victor, they they told me, what is it like to be homeless or whatever. And he's like, you know what, home is here. I'm home. Like,
Right.
my body is my home.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter if I'm not under a roof or anything. I live in my home. And that's
Yes.
something interesting to see, because now I'm going through the same thing myself.
Mhm.
I recently found another place to move to, but it's only been a week, and I already feel
Mhm.
at home, because
Yes.
home is here. Like, I feel like
Mhm.
I'm home. I'm on Earth. Hello, this is our home.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
so I don't know if
So,
anything like that. There was a ting moment for you, or was it just it just came to you later on?
well, there's a couple of things in that conversation that kind of resonate with me. Just like when you said, um, what was it? The part about finding home. So this is, it was more so I was focused for a couple of years actually on what I didn't want. I don't want this. I don't want that, and that's fine because that gives you. I listen to a lot of I don't know if you ever heard of her, but uh what's her name? Oh my goodness, Abraham Hicks. I listen to a lot of her teachings, and so what she talks about is that your contrast, which that is saying what you don't want, tells you put what you like, eliminates the things that out of your life. But it also helps you when you say I don't want, I don't want, I don't want. I realized I was walking in the direction of what I didn't want. So what you look at, like when you're driving, when you're driving and you look down at your phone and you start to move out of your lane, same kind of thing. Well, focus on where you want to go. So I started focusing on where I wanted to go, and I started focusing on what I wanted for my son. Instead of just saying what I don't want, I started saying what I do want. I do want a home that is joyful, a home full of laughter. I want a home, but I still kind of dream about having this big old home. But the more stuff you have, the more you got to take care of it, right? The more you got to dust. So it's just like now, like you said, I realize home is where what resonates with me, what is peaceful for me. It's not about even the people per se. My son is important, but like it's not about like I used to say, oh, nobody comes and visits me because it's so far away from them. But I'm like, this is home. This is peaceful. Where I live is peaceful now. I have my own place, and I'm grateful for that now. And I'm grateful that I have a place that people can come to that is peaceful. So yes, I agree with that. What got me in this direction to actually take action, because I've had all these experiences that kind of built up to this moment, because I've thought to myself, like, I would love to be able to help people on the street. I don't know how to do it. I've had that thought many years. But I finally, what moved me to action was the misery I felt, like I said, at that job I was at. And I was just like, I don't want to live pinching off. Well, today is, I'm grateful I can breathe, I guess. I go to work and be miserable again and be in pain. No, I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to do something that made me feel good. And I finally started doing something that made me feel good. Yes, serving the community is a lot of work for me. It is hard on my body, but nothing like what I was doing when I was miserable doing this job that I was getting paid to do. Now I'm doing this, helping people. And the rewards, to me, I know it's like, maybe I don't want to be Pollyanna, kind of like, like, oh yeah, everything's just coming up roses. But it's just like, literally, I'm like, I have so much more joy in my life because I serve, because I give, because I'm also feeding myself, because I'm in that place of, I know what is peace for me, what is home for me, what is satisfying to me. So having that, being able to say that, that's why I was saying to you, like, no, you do. I know maybe you're not getting paid the money you were getting paid before doing whatever you're as a producer, but you're doing this, you're still producing, you're still creating content, you're still making this outlet for people who are doing, good things. It's a different kind of paycheck. That's all. And I'm finding that, like, I do Instacart, like, now I don't do that other job. And I do Instacart. That's rewarding because I can stop when I want to and I can go when I want to. Nobody's going to yell at me too much, So
Right.
that's satisfying for me right now, and doing this. I want to be able to do this more days a week. I just, like, that's the satisfying part of it. We live our lives so much. I think I have lived my life anyway, so much to try to make money when it's about we need to connect. People there's so many connections people are missing, even in social media or even in their everyday life. They pass by people and you're not even thinking, hey, look, somebody just wanted to hear somebody say hi to them. I'm not ignoring you, you're a person and you're important. So that's where it came from, the need to connect and do something meaningful.
Right. Yeah, and I was in the same boat. I mean, you probably will have to listen to my podcast because I talk about it all the time, where I was miserable, I was this, I was that, and I was working for someone else. I wasn't working for me. It was working for my mother, and it was working to provide, but I never provided nothing for me, so it never gave me satisfaction. Sure, I was getting great benefits. Sure, I was getting paid well, and I was getting, bonuses and whatnot, but it wasn't feeding my soul. It wasn't feeding my spirit. And so I felt miserable. Every time I went to work, I had a panic attack. I had like the, shortness of breath, and I had the chest pains. And I'm like,
yep.
Why am I feeling sick?
Yeah. Isn't that sad?
And and they let me go. And they let me go twice. The first time I was like, no, let me go back on the phone. Let me try to work it out, even though I don't like it. And it wasn't really what I do. The second time around, I'm like, yes, I will take that. I will take that severance pay. Yes, I will get, and I'm doing my theater thing now, and I'm doing all the things that I couldn't do before. So in a way, it was a blessing in disguise.
It is. It always is. And it's interesting how it comes, I think, sometimes, because I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't want to end up, on the street again. I don't want to do this. And then it was just like, my mind starts shifting automatically now. Like, think about what you do want. Go in the direction you do want. Stop looking down on your phone while you're driving, because you're going to get distracted. Look forward to what you want to do, what you want to happen. So I started looking forward. Like I said, 17 meals were made that first time we cooked. And then the next week was 30. And then the next week was 50. So it was just grew and grew and grew. So it was just like, wow, you keep focusing on where you want to go. And I guarantee you will get there. I'm not saying that, there's not going to be things that kind of like don't stand in your way, but you have to know how to just navigate it. You don't get mad because there's a bump in the road. You go around it or you go over it, You don't get mad just because there's a detour. And that's what it is. That's what these things are. I mean, the pandemic, I think it's a detour. Just like we need to realize life is for enjoying. Yeah. Life is to do what makes you happy, yes, I was going to say not in the self-gratifying way, but yes, in a self-gratifying way. Like, yes, I feel fulfilled knowing that people are looking forward to this meal. I feel fulfilled that people are willing to donate, these items that people need in the streets right now, these socks and hats and gloves and things like this, PPE. So I feel fulfilled in that. And
And then you're one person. Like, can you imagine if
Yes.
if the powers that be thought this way? And I'm not talking
Hmm.
about X, Y, and Z. You know the name.
Hmm.
So I'm not even going to repeat it anymore.
Don't
But the
repeat
elections
them.
are over. I am done talking about
Yeah.
these people. But I'm just saying, what if the leader of this country
Hmm.
were to say, we're going to help him out?
Yeah, I think that it's interesting you're saying that because I actually contacted. I started doing some contacting, and maybe if somebody knows a way to do this more effectively, but I started talking to some council members in my area, and I called and left messages. One council member out of like I called 5 different council people, and one council member called me back, and he kind of was like, "Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to partner with you to," because I was trying to do a giving tree or something like that, where the community to come together, donate something, and then we could distribute it to to people who are homeless. And he's just like, yeah, that we don't have the resources to do that. I said, well, it wouldn't even cost you any money. You could just like even just do a flyer or something and ask people to donate at this particular thing. Yeah, we're not doing that. It's just a lot of people feel that way. We're not doing that.
And that's
And I'm like,
poverty
but this
thinking.
is your job.
That's poverty. That's poverty thinking. Thinking about
Yes,
the power of intention and all that. That's your attitude. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, sorry, there's a lot of echo in there.
oh sorry, sorry,
Um,
is this better?
I think, yeah, it is a lot better.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it's just like, I know can you even try? You haven't even tried. You haven't even given it a thought.
Exactly.
You
Nope.
haven't even given it like, let me get back to you. Let me see. No. And we're paying them with our taxes.
Exactly. Exactly. And I'm sitting here like that's what kind of ignited me. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. Like, as far as am I supposed to run for council for something? I doubt it. I don't know. But I'm open to what the universe has for me. I'm open to it. That's the point of that. Because I realized from that conversation, it was redirecting me to other resources that, number one, aren't open on the weekends. That's why I do it on the weekends, because they are not. A lot of places in Cleveland and in Painesville, definitely in Painesville, they only serve one meal on Sunday and Saturday, one meal.
Mm,
So these people aren't eating. If they don't get to that one meal on Saturday or Sunday, they're only eating 2 meals the whole weekend.
right.
That's crazy to me, and that's why I want to add more, at least Saturday to the day, but I'm just kind of like being very mindful of it, and just like, because I need help. I need volunteers. I need people that are willing to help me distribute. If you can't volunteer to help make it, then that definitely help distribute it or something. But I would like help. Let me say I don't need it. I would like help doing it. But it's just like, I want to be able to do that, because I know that on Saturdays, and I did it one time on a Saturday, and the need is there. People are out here. They're like, yeah, I haven't eaten. People have told me stories. They've told us, I haven't eaten all day, and I appreciate y'all coming out. And when I would go out with people, they would say, I appreciate y'all coming out and doing this. This is like, so I just, I appreciate it. I know God loves me because He sent me y'all. We're telling them, God bless you. And they're like, no, God bless you. And I'm like, but He's blessing me to bless you. And they're like, but the blessing needs to go to you. Like, we're just going back and forth with it. And I love that. It just keeps on going back and forth. So we give, they give, they're grateful. We give more, they're grateful. And that's what it is. People don't, the limitations, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I have an infinite abundance. Don't think in your limitations. Get out of that mindset. This world is meant to really limit you. It's not actually not designed to limit. It's not designed to limit you, but the way that this world thinks is limiting. So when you think about all of the resources that are available, and it may not be something that you can look at your bank account and say, I've got this money. I don't have the money to do this, but I have the resources to do it.
Mm,
And that's the difference. So
yeah.
it's just like a different way, a whole new way of looking at things. I don't have the money, but I have tons of food over here. I've got access to a kitchen and to be able to cook, and I have partners who are willing to help me do some things, so that's the unlimited. That's what it's about. Realizing, what, there's limitless resources out here.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I was actually watching The Secret. The Secret,
Mm-hmm.
which is,
Mm-hmm.
we know The Secret. You know The
Mm-hmm.
Secret. But it's not a secret anyways.
No.
But there was a movie about The Secret, and it was Katie Holmes and Josh, whatever his name is, and all that. But the power of intention is not about materialistic things, because the girl wanted a pony, and she ended up getting the pony, and you ended up getting the house that you wanted. You had the car that you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about materialistic things anymore. I don't care if I have a Rolls Royce, or if I have a Mini, or if I have whatever I have. And
Mm-hmm.
the less I have, because I used to have a
Mm-hmm.
house. I sold the house, and now I'm living in a room, and I don't need much more. I
Mm-hmm.
need room to live, to sleep in,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't have to have as many things as I have in my storage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I had when I was going through the transitions, different places I was going, or living in cars, living in hotels, living with my mom, living with my sister. I had storage unit for 3 years. 3 years. That stuff sat in storage. 3 years.
How much money went into that storage too?
Exactly. How much money went into that storage? And I'm sitting here like, that stuff is just stuff. And I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying telling people that they should sit here and just not care about, just only live in the tiniest space you can. I'm just saying, put it in perspective. I realized this, like, like I was making money, and I was proud of myself for making money, and and not needing to be on assistance, and not needing to ask anybody for help. I was proud of myself for that.
Yeah.
I come from a long way. But I started realizing, like, when you start going into the things like the secret and things like that. Listen, really, I don't even like to use that word. Actually, I don't like to call it that. It's really truly a principle. It's just a principle in the earth, just like gravity, anything else. If you speak, whatever you concentrate on will come to you. And if you concentrate on things, those things will go away eventually. So I started realizing, when I started meditating, like, when I get quiet, when I take time to be quiet and really get still, I started realizing the infinite abundance part, that what's in abundance that you don't have to worry about them running out of: love, joy. So concentrate on that. And then the things you need, or, like, there are things we do need. We need clothes, we need food, things like that. Those things will come. And if you concentrate on that, being loving to other people, showing kindness, showing, and truly just no strings attached. I have no strings attached to what I do. People tried to tell me, I had someone tell me, they donated blankets to this church. I think I mentioned it in the last, last time. But they were like, take pictures. And I was just like, this is another part of that was like, I'm not here to make people, I don't know. I'm not here to make people
Comfortable.
do something. Yeah, exactly. Or, listen, if you don't want to do it, I get it. There are lots of people who don't want to go out here. I know that. I know it. I would just happen to be one at the time, because if you'd called me 2 years ago, if you would have asked me to do this, I would have said, I don't know how I would do that. Nah. But you're in this place now of infinite. You're thinking like, I'm not limited by anything but my own mind, And so this is where it comes from. It's all these things that I'm still learning. I haven't learned them, but I'm still learning. I'm a student, we're all students. And if you're willing to learn, life is going to teach you. The world's going to teach you. The universe is going to show you. It's going to bring you things that you can understand. So I'm not sitting here saying to you, like, sometimes I look at them like, I need more. And it's like, manifest it by operating and getting the peace and joy, so that you can find the things that you need. That's all. I don't know if it makes sense what I'm saying. I'm not sure. But I hope it does. It works for me. And I did listen to it. It's interesting you mentioned that lady who wrote The Secret. I watched a podcast just this Sunday when I was cooking the dinners. I listened to her second book she came out with or something. She was talking lots of good nuggets, lots of information, very good, information she had. And I would love to read the book. I listen to Abraham Hicks, and a lot of what she says is literally what she's talking about. She made it a book and marketed that way. It's no secret how to live your most abundant life.
Yeah, I was more into Louis Hay in my.
Hmm. Yes.
But
Hmm.
it's the same message. It's really the
Yes.
same message you're giving us, or I'm
Hmm.
giving, and
Hmm.
Joe and Shane, whoever's on TikTok too. They're everybody's doing the same message. Like, do you no matter what,
Hmm.
and I'm barely getting to know that part of me too, because my journey is taking me 48 years to get where I'm
Hmm.
at, but I'm
Hmm.
not nowhere where I need to be, and that's okay.
It
Um,
is.
that's okay. I don't need to have a house. I don't need to have a yacht. I don't have to have a boat.
Hmm.
I'd love to have that, but I really don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. I think it's just perspective. When you see, like, I think that things gravitate to you, that you if you want it, that's fine. It's nothing wrong. You're not, no one's, people have jets, they're great. I look at people with boats, I'm like, I would love to own a yacht, or at least be able to access a yacht once in a while. I don't need it every day, but like just be able to get on one or something. Like, I would love that. That'd be a great idea. That's a great thought. I would love to have a mansion, one day, that's nice. But if I don't, I think this is where I'm realizing with this organization. Infinite Abundance is about realizing, even if I don't have a tangible thing in my hand to hold, I know I have access to all the love and joy and peace, happiness and kindness and gentleness and all the things that are good and positive, the things that are lasting. That's what's available
Right.
without any kind. Nobody's going to tell us there's a regulation on love now. We can only give love this much. It's like literally give as much as you can of love, give as much kindness away as you can,
Yeah.
because it's there for that. And so if you focus on that, then the things come. They really do. They just show up. The things you desire will show up. So even if they don't, I'm
Hmm.
cool with it. I'm learning to be that way. I haven't always been that way. I'm just now starting to get on that path, honestly. But like, I'm cool with it. I'm not going to obsess about, I don't have, I don't have, I don't have. Look, I have what I have. That's what this ministry, it's a ministry. This is what this ministry taught me. I look at my freezer and I say, what do I make today, Lord? I don't know what we make, but I have all this food, but I don't know what to make. And then
Mm.
it's like, it comes to me,
He shows you.
make,
Yeah.
make lasagna rolls, or make, this or make that. And the menu just comes. A
Mm.
couple weeks ago we made burritos, and it was, I've never made stuff I've never made before. Like, I've never made burritos myself. Like, I just don't. So
Yeah.
it's like, so we made burritos for everybody. Me and my sister, I went out to her house, and she helped me, her and her family helped me make burritos for the community. And I had leftover macaroni and cheese from Thanksgiving. So I sat there and heated it up and put it in there. People are so grateful. That's it. And the gratitude just keeps growing. It's beautiful. That's
Right.
it. It's just beautiful.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's a wonderful. Not only is a wonderful story, but it's a wonderful movement. As you put in it, it's a ministry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have a mission that is waiting for me, or it's waiting to reveal itself. And
Mm-hmm.
until then, this is the only way I can contribute, or whatever little money I may have. Um,
Yeah. Thank you.
and I made tamales too last week. Yeah, a few days ago. I've never
Yeah.
made tamales, and I'm proud of it. I'm like, okay, I kind of sucked at it, but I'm like, okay, I can do this. Uh,
Yeah.
whereas before I'd be like, no, I don't see myself cooking. I don't see myself doing laundry. I don't see myself doing this and that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and things happen where you have to, and it's okay. And wow, do I still have you?
Yeah.
Oh, your video went.
Say it again.
Your video went out for a sec.
Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh, somebody's calling me. I'm sorry. Hold on just a second. Hold
That's
on.
fine.
And I don't want to decline it. Okay. I was like, what do I do? Okay.
Oh, your
Here we go.
call came through.
Sorry, I was getting a phone call. I'm sorry. I can't even,
That's
it's not vibrating or anything. Sorry.
right. And
Yes.
I want to bring it back to how do you come up? Well, we're gonna wrap it up in a few more minutes, but I wanted to actually ask you, how do you come across TikTok? How was that? How was that being for you? Was that, and how do you come up with Joe's?
Well, so TikTok is a great outlet to meet people who are like-minded, small business owners or people who are doing what I'm doing, like serving the community. So I, the For You pages, I look at a lot of stuff on For You page. Most of the stuff I come across is on For You. So it's really kind of like tailored to what you look at or what you mention or something like that or whatever. So I appreciate it for that. The jokes are funny. I do a couple of duets and stuff like that, like the funny stuff. But usually I'm really talking about, I like people who have positive vibes, positive things to say. I don't really like expose kind of stuff or, things that are low vibration for me. Just because I want to be, again, it's just resonating in my whole life. If there's an abundance of good that I can get, then why not access that? So anyway, that's what I do. People who are doing something positive, people who are going in a positive direction, I try to focus on that. I don't do a lot of the dance stuff. I don't know how to dance well enough to do a video. I don't think so. Maybe I'll do it one day. But my sister does a lot of these dance videos, and I'm like, I don't really want to do that. It takes a lot of time. But I do like to show what I cook. I try to take a lot of time to do TikToks, and. Yeah. Some of those videos I've spent a lot of time on them, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it gets to be a lot of work, and so I have to manage how much how much I can put on there, especially when I'm cooking. So I'm trying to show what I'm cooking and put a TikTok out, and I'm like, it's taking too much time in between. So you might see my stuff later on in the day on a Sunday or something like that, or really into Monday because I'm just didn't have time to make a video while I was doing it. But that's kind of stuff I do. I'm singing, but I don't do a lot of singing on there. I do a few singing ones. I think I did one or two. Yeah, that's just, I try to keep it just on the Infinite Abundance stuff, but I put my son on there a little bit, funny stuff about kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat where I started doing a lot of negativity at the beginning. I was attracting that a lot. As I attracted that before with Facebook or Instagram, and now the new platform, right? But I got to the point where I was purposely going to people's pages or accounts instead of just random. You get the random ones.
Right.
So I'm focusing more on like what do I really want from this app,
right,
and focus on that instead of just whatever they want to give me something I don't need or I might lack or whatever. Fine, but now I'm more. Now it's more clear, if you know what I mean. Like I can see where I'm going with this. I need to have that little pause that I did, and that's actually I need to pause again because I need to get more ideas and more clarifications. But it'll come,
Yeah, I think I just want to, if I can, I just want to encourage you just to. It's I don't know the next step all the time. Most times, none of us hardly ever do. Like some people have a very clear plan. They can write it out very, very. I don't do that all the time. Sometimes I do, but I just take one step. You're doing it. Like I think that you think that you want to know what your purpose is. Today you're helping people. Like you helped. I'm sorry, I forget the one where we met on
Joe.
Page. Yeah, Joe's page. Yeah, on his page. That was just like, I was just like thinking like, I need positivity this morning. I'm gonna watch this man. I hardly ever sit there and watch somebody's live that long, ever. And I definitely don't go through, I just don't sit down. I will sit and listen for a second, hear what they got to say, and then move on to the next thing, But I just was really drawn, like, this man is really a positive person, all about the positive vibes, all about sharing love, sharing kindness, and let's do that. I was like, we need more of that. First thing in the morning, absolutely. It was first thing. I was like, I was thinking to myself, who is going live at 8:00 in the morning? It's 8:00 in the morning. It was 8:00 this morning in Cleveland, so he's on Eastern Standard Time, I guess, or something like that. Or close by it. And so I was just like, who's going live? This is so early. And I was like, this is so positive, man. We need this, we need this, so I love that kind of thing. And, the one, just a couple other people that are so positive on there. And that's we need to raise the vibration, truly, really raise the vibration with sharing kindness and sharing positivity, sharing our listening to one another. You are doing that. You're giving people an outlet. You're doing it today. And it's gonna and then as you keep doing it, that's how the resources come, because you're creating a place for it to grow. So
Right.
that's what I found anyway. I don't, I'm thinking to myself, like, these are major companies. Starbucks and Brugger's Bagels in Cleveland anyway is big.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
like, these are big companies. And here it is. I'm able to partner with a few of them. And they're donating these resources that they say, absolutely, this is good. Let's do more of this. So
Right.
start small, start somewhere, ask
Mhm.
somebody. That's how I feel. Like the worst thing you'll ever hear is no.
Yeah.
And so when you hear no, that just means next to me. I learned that. I did that with Mary Kay. I used to sell Mary Kay back in the day, and that's one of the words they would say. No means next. And so the people that tell me no, there have been plenty of people that tell me no. And I also want to shout out T-Mobile. Also, they donated, like, their little giveaway stuff they do. They donated their giveaways to me so that I could help people in the community. So it's just like you'd be surprised people who are willing to help you. If you just tell them what you're doing, they want to partner with you,
Right.
So it's just creating that space and saying, this is what I do. I do feel like sometimes I say I'm just a nobody, but I'm somebody doing something,
You are somebody. One thing I wanted to share quickly, and then we kind of have to wrap it up. There was a story about John Lennon. As you know, he's a Beatle,
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
way before he became a Beatle, he was. They were in a restaurant or something with his mother. His mother and him didn't really know each other that well,
Mm-hmm.
and there was Elvis Presley came on the TV, and his mother got up and started dancing, and she was like, "I love Elvis," and she started like dancing, and he was looking at her, wishing he could be like Elvis, and he said, he's like, "I want to be like Elvis," or "I want to be Elvis." It's like, you can't be Elvis because you're John Lennon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
right
love
there, I
it.
was like, yeah.
Yeah. I
In the
like that. I like that.
same way you're saying, like, who am I? I'm like, you're Erica Young.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and that's like, and I'm Victor Sotomayor, or Italo, however you want to say
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
To just be happy with who we are, and that way
Mm-hmm.
it'll grow. And maybe I'm just, sometimes I don't feel like that all the time, and but I'm getting there one day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that. My dad loved the Beatles, and he passed on in 2016. So I just appreciate your reference um, to John Lennon, and just I love that. Thank you. That's like a sign from my dad.
Oh, wow. I wasn't going to share it because I'm like, we're almost out of time. I don't want to do it, but yeah, I have a tattoo of the Beatles. So one day
Yeah, I
I'll do
love it.
a
So thank
TikTok
you so
about it.
much
It's
for
like,
that.
whatever. But
Yeah.
listen, Erica, it was wonderful. I am really grateful that we met through Joe and now
Yes.
through this podcast. And
Yes.
anyways, I'm not going to talk more because I hear my echo already. So let me just say that you didn't see this coming, guys. And Erica, you're doing a great job. Keep
Thank
doing it.
you.
And whoever wants to help, as you know, everything will be on the description. Anything else you want to tell my audience or your audience?
As I just walk. I just feel like one thing I would tell people: walk in love. It's the only thing that matters at the end of the day. And if you can't walk in love, then I feel like just do the best you can, do the best you can and be the best person you can be. Truly, it matters. And you matter. We matter. Even the least of these. That's Matthew 25:40. That's the scripture in the Bible that talks about, the least of these. It's for the least of these that I do this, that I do the work I do. So the forgotten and those who are seen as less than, but they're not less than. They're just as important as the president, as some other big figure in this world. So
Right.
You matter.
Hey, this is a wonderful, wonderful podcast. So, guys, tune in. There's going to be more people coming. We'll take another hiatus for like a couple of days or 3, but then I'll be back with another TikToker. I'm not going to say who because it may not happen. So I'm just going to manifest it and it will happen. How's that?
There you go.
All right, guys. You didn't see this coming.
Go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
Hit the record button.